our reserve bank balances. On the next page, this is your guys' aggregate stop-loss report for your dental. And let me just highlight, we're actually doing really well, even compared to last quarter. We're even down from last quarter on that. Let me explain this hodgepodge of numbers here. In the upper right-hand corner, way upper right-hand, you're going to see stop-loss factors. A dollar amount will say $15.99 for a single. Does everybody see that? $15.99. If you go to the lower left, it will say average net covered claims paid to date. You see where it says $12.49? Okay, so we quoted what we thought was going to be a good number is $15.99 for a single. We're coming in at $12.49. Okay, so we're self-funded on the dental side, so we're actually doing really well on the dental side. Our numbers continue to keep dropping down. Okay?
Good.
Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. So this next page right here is top benefits by location. Let me get myself more situated here. You can kind of clearly see as we work down through here, you can see some big numbers under the total charges. Can you see, like, starting out with outpatient hospital miscellaneous surgery, $242,000. We had inpatient medical charges of $447,000. Now, that's not to say that the county paid for that. That's just what charges were brought against the plan. The numbers out to the far right-hand side are numbers that were paid by the county plan. All right. So those miscellaneous surgeries, we paid an additional, almost $15,000, and then numbers kind of dropped down significantly from there. I just kind of looked at an interesting thing back to the previous quarter. Number one, top benefit by location was hospital emergency room, which is now at number 7. So we've had some additional, I don't know if a particular county employee had some additional, needs that they had to go kind of out of town for. But we've definitely, you can see where all of a sudden we had a reduction in our reserve account is because of some of these numbers. And Julie's group at Freedom Claims would know the specifics of which individual, what took place. I'm not privy to that with this report, at least. But that gives you kind of an interesting look on it. Top benefits by location, which means we paid $75,000. If you flip over to the next page, we add all those up. See where it says $75,943? That's what came out of the plan. So that's top benefits by location. The next page is top providers. And the county hospital definitely had the most as far as paid by the plan itself. But then if you go down about 4 lines down, you'll see Swedish Medical Center. That's in Denver. And you can see the total charges of $337,000. And that was for number of claims 2. So it could have been the same individual, probably some high-level surgery or some type of treatment. But even if you go across, take that number 337,152.22, go straight across, paid by the plan was $4,391. Because it was one person, they paid in their contribution, the county picked up that difference. Remember, the county plan took over and paid the remainder of those charges. So that was a good thing, but adding in everything with the top providers, and our numbers should always match at the bottom. If you flip over to the next page, you'll see $75,943 just down at the bottom right-hand corner, right down there. You see that? So we should always match up our total by location and the total providers. So we had basically $75,943 coming out of the plan. That's the county plan. So that was a combination of what we put in for that month, and then we also had to draw out some of the reserve dollars to make that payment. Okay? Did I roll through those okay, or do you want me to back up a little bit? Or
I think we're good.
You guys think you're okay? Okay. All right. So top location, top providers. Now, the good thing is that with some of those individuals that maybe use the Swedish Medical Center, right, they've already maxed out their maximum payout, and also the county has as well. So we're not going to keep continuing those, at least with that individual that utilized those benefits. Okay? Okay. So it goes down through top providers again. This next page right here, if you can see where it serve you, right here, I just kind of skipped over the summary of those, where it says serve you. This is all your prescription. Things are really good in here. We're really seeing some good utilization of the county folks on the plan are utilizing the generic side quite well. So where you can see that is right in the middle. There's a column called percentage of total RXs, total prescriptions. If you go down and where you see generic under the Y category, it should say 94.2%. Can you guys see that? Mm-hmm. Everybody see that? That means our county folks are using 94.2% of generic. And that's outstanding because you can look just above to see how expensive the name brands are. And some of those we just can't get out from underneath because the doctor might prescribe it, mandate it. Some of those prescription charges could have been for individuals that, went over and to the Swedish Medical Center, that type of thing. But utilization, we're doing really well at 94.2%. Right? So that's keeping our overall costs way down. As you can see what the costs are, look at the total drug costs for some of those name brands. I mean, they're very high. Okay. The next one is just a fun chart that just kind of demonstrates kind of what we just kind of talked about. We're at 94.2%. That's most, if not all, of the pie. So we're utilizing our generic drugs very, very well. So, any questions on the drug side of it? Okay, so we've gone over the medical, we've gone over the dental, and now we've gone over the drugs. And just the last two I always throw in there for you guys. This is your medical plan, both demonstrated what the county plan is and also what the individual. And then the very last one is your dental benefit plan, like we've discussed in the past.
Well, very good, Brian. It sounds like
We had a bump. I think we had a little bump, which is unavoidable. That's why we have this great plan in place, is really to take care of those bumps and still stay on a really good trajectory.
It'll just take a little time to get those reserves built back up.
Back up, yeah. Barring any, more major claims, yeah. But, you look at some places that decide to go self-funded or various other things, you could honestly be absorbing some of those huge numbers that we just saw in the plan. But since the county has such an excellent plan, we kind of diverted a lot of those claims off to the United Healthcare. So
good.
I wanted to be brief and to the point for you guys, but I don't want to leave any questions on the table. Is there anything that I can help you all out with?
I think we're good.
Okay.
We have not, or I personally have not heard any difficulties or a lot of people still struggle with this 2-card thing.
Yeah, always.
And normally it just takes a couple of phone calls to get that straightened back out. But
well, let us know if we can ever help. We'll be happy to talk to any of the providers, any of the employees directly to take that off your plate for sure. Just whatever we can do to help you guys out, or the employees, or even if we have to, like I said, call providers directly, we'll make that happen.
Okay.
So
I think we're going along pretty well.
Yeah, I think with barring that little bump right there, we're doing really well.
Okay.
So the next course of action is we'll probably be setting up a time to come out and see you guys to go over the renewal numbers. The only thing we have to wait on our end is the insurance companies don't toss those renewal numbers out a lot of times until October. So then we'll present those to you, kind of see where we are with numbers in that sense.
Okay.
And just remember with your reserves, that continues on. We just take that reserve right on into the next year. So we'll always be able to minimize our our exposure based on those reserves. But that'll be the next course of action. Once we have a good feel when the carriers are going to give us quotes, we'll try to get back on the schedule at a commissioner meeting and present those to you. And then we'll do just like we've done in the past. You guys decide if that's worthwhile.
Do you think the rates are going to kind of remain stable, or do you see some?
Yeah, they're saying pretty stable at this point, but you always see increases.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
So stable to them means
Right.
a slight increase. How much of an increase, we're not quite sure. But, we can offset some of that damage by implementing this plan and keeping our reserve numbers good and so forth. And then, we'll do if you guys do decide to go with, the new plan, we would do just like we've done in the past, and sometime in the December timeframe, do the employee meeting, conduct all the employee meetings and so forth. So that's kind of where we're on track, just to kind of push out through the end of the year. So.
I think that's what we're seeing too.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Fantastic. Any questions for anybody? Maybe guys? Well, thank you much for your time. I sure appreciate it.
Well, thanks for driving out and visiting with us.
Well, of course. I enjoy it. All right. Okay. Thank you much. Good seeing you again.
You too.
Good seeing you, Commissioner.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Terry. Good seeing you. Thanks, son. All right. We'll see you guys down the road. Okay. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Good morning, Dave. You're right.
I've seen that. Lifetime story. Okay, on this solid waste statement, you'll see a Pinko on there. They had to they had to do the study and application for the new landfill phase 2. This municipal solid waste pit phase 2. I did get a report back last week that they did accept this quality control quality assurance report and the as-built drawing, so we're good to go on that pit on that. Pinko is still working on the plan for the C&D bill.
How often do they do that? Pinko, you're just 7,275.
That's because we opened up a new pit and there was a lot more requirements to do. They had to do the soil study.
States.
Yep.
Okay.
Normally we had a steeper bank, and then they, due to that report that they had to do, it was more costly, I know Gerald said. And so
But we're all good compliance.
we're good in compliance right there, so
Good.
on that.
Seems like repairing washes was a reoccurring event here.
Yes. Yep. Our tarp type soil from the harder rains. Yeah, it beat us. So. To start off with is that Kibitco on that bill. I also, then this other letter kind of presented where we spent our money and everything on that. We did get all the South River Road completed. Then we went to Lorraine Street from the county shop on south, got that done. And then we went out and finished what we lacked on Keller Pond plus the curve. And then we actually had enough oil to do the, I call it Angle Road down there by McQuiggs. We ran out right to the end of it, so.
Good.
Yeah. It was a big day. We had a few breakdowns. Some of them shouldn't have happened, like a coil went out of the chipper. And only run it 2 days, but it was a year old,
Typical stuff, yeah.
Older fuel and just newer guys on different equipment, so.
Do we have any remaining millings left anywhere?
Yeah,
Where do we have those at?
they're directly south of recycling.
Okay, so those are our millings down
Yes.
there? Okay. I had a question about that, and I didn't have an answer, but,
Yep.
okay.
When they're dry like that, can you just add an oil to them?
You can actually add a rejuvenator to it, yes. A little pricey, but it will work. Yep. Okay, also on this report, you'll see this 2017 transfer. Included is this letter, and I never did get to talk to John Mapes. All I did is talk to Travis. And then after you guys met with John, we had that discussion on that transfer and everything like that. So I think this cleared up a little bit. We was referring more to that, and once Leslie got the resolution and we sent it to him, that kind of explained things with Travis, so.
Okay.